We are on a roll this week on powerful communication. I'll give you one more technique on strategic empathy. I call it the black swan. You're probably wondering what's the difference between empathy and sympathy. Sympathy is your ability to share a common feeling about something. Empathy is your ability to step into that person's reality, enter the conversation they have going on in their brain already, and be able to communicate that with them. Strategic empathy is your ability to use that empathy strategically to make an impact. So, yesterday we talked about frame control, and we relegated that frame control onto sales in the sales dynamic. But really, sales is just what? It's a component of the four components, the four categories of influence. In other words, is influence, nothing more, nothing less. The distinction that makes sales what it is that at the end of the influence, there's a transaction involved. It's called closing the transaction. So we talked about how if you control the frame, you will not only will you have a better experience, but they will have a better experience. One frame is that sales is coercive, it's forceful, it's pushy, it's sleazy, it's manipulative. That's one frame of how you view sales. The other frame, a much, much better and more effective frame, is that sales is merely your getting somebody confident and comfortable on what they wanted to do, getting what they wanted to do and get and want already. That's also what seduction is. Seduction is giving somebody the confidence and comfort to do what they wanted to do already. What makes sales close a transaction is you give them the confidence and the comfort of getting what they wanted to get, and then you close the sale and you make a sale. So when you make it about you, when the frame is about you, you have a lot of fear. You have a fear of approaching that person because you're worried about what you're going to say. You're worried about your having to sell. You have a fear of picking up the phone. You have the fear of following up with your clients, with your customers. The other side to that, the other frame, is much better when you make it about them. That's one frame. I want you to be able to tune in. This is where empathy comes in. The skill of empathy requires this other frame. And this frame is to make it about them. And the skill is your ability to tap into their favorite radio station. And their favorite radio station is WIIFM. And you will always remember this. WIIFM stands for What's in It for Me. What's in it for me? And I want you to imagine a sticker written on their forehead, and the sticker says, What's in it for me? WIIFM. When you're able to tune in to what's in it for the other person, anything you communicate, all they're thinking about is what's in it for me. What about me? How do I connect with this situation? How do I relate? What does my reality say about what you're talking about right now with me? What does this conversation have to do with me? What is the benefit to me? And so you tap into that station, and this is how you can begin to build empathy. You tap in that situation, you enter the conversation that they have already going on in their mind, and then you strategically use it to give them what they want, to give them what they're already looking for. I've got 2 minutes to talk here. So, how does that look like? In a professional sense, when you make it about them, you dig into what they want, what they like, what they desire, and you give it to them. You cater the presentation to address what they want, like, and need and desire. This, and then you close the situation. This is called discovering their need. This presentation is referred to as selling. There's a difference between selling and closing, and some sellers are not good at closing, and some closers are not good at selling. And so what you want to take a note of is during the sales presentation, the presentation where you make a presentation about your product or whatever your idea is. So there's this thing called presentation skills. And you're probably wondering, Ron, I don't need presentation skills. I'm just a normal human being. I'm not in sales. I don't do presentations. And here's what you'll always remember from here forward after hearing this. You are always making a presentation. You're making a presentation to your future lover. You're making a presentation to your friends. You're making a presentation to your customers, your clients. You're making a presentation to your colleagues, your partners, your boss. You're speaking and communicating. You're typing up something on Instagram, on Facebook. You're making a presentation. This is called a presentation skill. You got it? So what about how does it apply in your personal life? Ron, I don't do anything with sales. I don't want to sell. I don't want to close people. I don't want to make sales presentations. Well, I'll go into Black Swan in a few seconds, but let me just tap into this. Empathy is obviously an incredibly important skill when you talk to somebody in your personal life, perhaps your lover. And it requires, if you want to connect with them, if you want to make an impact with them, if you want to make an impact with your friends, your colleagues, your partners, your family, there's my alarm, then you want to tap into what's in it for them. With your lover especially, you want to be able to communicate what's in it for them. When you communicate with them, what do they like? What sorts of things are they into? What do they like sexually, sensually? Are you able to tap into that? And so, what is the Black Swan? And more importantly, what they don't like. What they like, what they don't like, what they prefer, and what they do not prefer. The trouble domain of all relationships that are especially the ones that are exclusive is that they take each other for granted, which is the death knell of every loving relationship. And then they lose respect for the other person's preference if they don't already listen and pay attention to it. So what is the Black Swan? The Black Swan is the special thing about the other person when you have empathy with them. The one thing that they're particularly into, that they particularly prefer, the one secret thing, and everyone, if you dig in enough, they have that one thing that will convince them. They have that one thing in their mind that they're thinking about, that if you tap into that, if you voice it out, if you dig enough, if you listen enough, if you have enough empathy, if you ask enough powerful questions, you will tap into the Black Swan. The Black Swan is a thing that will get you on their side, that will make an impact with them, and that will get them to buy into whatever you're trying to connect with them with, or you're trying to sell to them. If you like that and you appreciate that, click the like button and the heart button and leave a comment below if you have any thoughts. I'd love to hear them. Share this with anybody who might appreciate it. And if you want more powerful communication tips and relationship strategies, go to www.greatrelationshipsu.com. I'll see you in the next live. Bye.